And Lucas?
No.
No, just your computer and that piece of paper I gave you.
Do we hit a pencil?
And then the African American group is this back table, so Liam, Anna, and Stephen.
I'm going to put my bag right here so it's not in the way. Can you just want to take both of them?
Now, I want you, when the librarian comes in, she'll want you to do both. Bring both. Oh.
Do you realize what
Turning water. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Wait, your water? Yeah.
But I'm going to have you guys focusing.
Are you sure that you're gonna?
Actually, Sophie, I'm going to move you to that one, to that second table. So come over there with Hannah and Kirsten.
Frank, do you have like a pen or pencil I can borrow?
There should be one in here somewhere.
Here you go. That's first.
Not that I should throw a pencil at you, but. Okay. So at this time, I need everyone to take that piece of paper out, and at the top of your paper, write what group you are.
And this one right here?
Yep.
I don't know what this is. It's only in that headphone.
It's just because of the camera.
I'll check it out. Yeah, no, it's my call. I left mine.
Okay. So, now over the next couple of minutes, you are going to come up with a list of questions, because today you are going to research this group of people and how they were impacted by Manifest Destiny. I will tell you, some groups were positively impacted by Manifest Destiny. Some groups were negatively impacted by Manifest Destiny. David, I believe you are, oh, it's on the board still. You're at this group right here. Okay? So, oh, you got my original. Does anyone not have a back or a front?
This is it. Thank you.
I had a pass.
Ah, there it is.
I don't have a paper at all.
David, I think this one's yours. And there you go.
Yeah, pencil.
I can find one in a second. Okay, so you're going to conduct research on this group of people today and how they were impacted by Manifest Destiny. You're going to start by coming up with a list of questions. And then our lovely librarian is going to come in here and kind of show you the best ways to find the answers to the questions that you have created. All right? Does that make sense? So, I'm going to give you, it is like 9:10. I'm going to give you until about 9:20 to talk with your group and come up with a list of questions that will help you answer, or to help you understand your group and Manifest Destiny. Yes, you have to talk to one another. Okay? What I would do is write down these questions on the whiteboard table, okay? Because it'll help you, when Ms. DeHaven comes in, it'll help you understand, or it'll help you see the questions as we conduct our research. All right? As we are doing this for about 8 minutes, I will be coming around and making sure that you're doing and coming up with a good list of questions. Okay? I'm also going to put up the painting again just so that you can see it and kind of come up with a list of questions. You guys have a little bit more difficult job because yours aren't even on the painting. Okay?
The questions are easier.
Potentially. Okay? But I want you to use that painting as a background to help come up with a list of questions. Okay?
Where were they? Like this telegraph thing.
All right. For you three, or four, there are 3 things of technology. I want you to come up with like a list. What are the 3 things of technology that we know in that painting?
I know there's telegraph.
Telegraph. Train.
And
We talked about it in the bottom right-hand corner.
tools.
Like farming. Okay, so come up with 3 questions. I would do one question per like thing of technology. Okay, and I'm going to come back to you, but I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of a.
Wait, let me write that down. What was it? Phrase.
What time period is this?
So the word Manifest Destiny comes around 1840.
So,
I consider that entire time period from like 1803 with us buying Louisiana all the way until like right past Civil War as time period for Manifest Destiny. Because I will tell you, with this group specifically, you won't see really westward expansion with them until after the Civil War. But they they were still a part of the equation when it came to expanding westward.
Yeah, I mean, they were.
Yeah. So you're like Western settlers, frontiersmen. So you guys are kind of like, you can consider it this group, this group here, this group here, this group here. So like you're the white male settler. It's the best way to put it. Okay. So come up with a list of questions, and again, you kind of have like 3 or 4 different like looks to the people that you can come up with a question to. But I'm going to check with this group, and then I'll be right to you. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. Sharp expert. All right, you guys are the Native American group. If you're looking at the painting,
What does this say?
You know what it says.
Mr. Friend, in the bottom left corner, is that a bear or?
I think it's a badger. So, if you were looking at those questions, or looking at the Native Americans in that painting,
Questions on why.
look, so take a second to look at the painting. What are the Native Americans doing in the painting?
Running away.
So one of your questions could be,
Why were they forced to move?
or what, forced to leave. So you're saying what tribes were forced to move, and then like why were they forced to move?
Yeah.
Those are actually 2 really good questions. Okay.
And
Who or what made them run?
Or what group of people made them leave? Oh, okay. Those are 3 really good questions. Well done. Do you have a prediction as to why you think they had to be forced to move?
No. You
Don't.
can't see what's behind them.
Can't see what's behind. Well, you can kind of see what's behind them.
Kind of see, but if they were past the terrain, you can't really see.
True.
forced to move
Because in the background, you can't really see what's making them move. So
Yeah.
it must be on the right of them.
Good. So we'll
other people were trying to claim more land.
more people
So right now, it's 70C.
see what happens when you do your work. Now give me an essay.
Dude, that's,
You good?
oh my god.
Okay.
Those are the yearly grades.
Are we talking with each other? All right. I see Hannah writing a question. What's the first question that you guys came up with?
What caused
This is my
the
quarter two grade.
Western frontiers, as they're called,
Frontiersmen.
to move west?
Okay, so your first question is like, why are they moving west?
Yeah.
Okay. What else could we ask? Because we talked about how there's like 3 or 4 different kinds of groups of people. So what could we ask as far as like, why do they look different? Because you got farmers down there, you got cattlemen. So like, what could you ask in reference to that? So, and this time, they're all doing something differently. So think job. So what could you ask, like, relation to job? All right, you guys actually have a really good list. So I'm going to come right back. I'm going to check on the other groups, see where they're at. All right, and then hopefully by the time I come back, you got your third question. Sound good? All right, what do you got?
Where were they? Where were they? What was their role?
What was their role? Okay. So those are 2 good ones. That's a really good start.
You can't really get anywhere else without knowing those 2 answers.
You could.
I mean, you can't get.
All right, so here's my prompt, or my idea. What were they being used for? So you said, I understand what was their role, but we need to expand a little bit more with that. So you can take that question like, yes, it'll be still similar, but we can expand a little bit further. What were they in the East?
Yeah.
What was their role in the East?
Like before Manifest Destiny?
Yes.
To do all the hard work. To do all the work that are.
So they were
They were slaves. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand that you're asking what was their role? Okay. But what can we ask one more question relating to slavery? Were they what?
Were they still slaves?
Or free? Were they free? Okay, so then you got those 3 questions, and I think that's a really good list. Okay, so I wanted you to write it on the whiteboard just so you can see it as the librarian comes in, but I do want you to write it down on the piece of paper too. Okay? Frame what? I heard my name.
Like Black Forces question mark?
Okay. How important was the telegraph back then?
Our tools considered technical.
Okay, that's fair. And what was the last one?
Third one.
Why were trains created? Question mark. And then another one like faster travel? Question mark. Lack of horses.
So like, what was the purpose?
Yeah.
All right, I want you guys to write it down just so you can keep track of it as we're doing it with the librarian. All right, but I want you to write it down here too.
Lack of horses? Or like lack of.
Well, okay,
what did they call it?
Here's what I would ask with that one. What, prior to this point, what were we using to make money? Like, how did we make money across the country
Didn't we
and the world?
trade?
Trade. So there's a potential that trains were used for trade.
Right, but faster travel.
So, okay,
Or is it because they didn't have animals? Like, why did they need it?
lack of or
Faster travel, I guess?
I think those two, what I'm trying to say is I think those two are the same thing, like faster travel versus animal. So that's why I was talking about like the money economic reasons.
Okay, wait, oh my god, horses?
Okay, you're good. You guys have all three of yours. What? She's got it. That's why I moved on.
Oh.
Faster travel, lack of horses, trade, question mark. Yep. All right. Yeah, after you tell me if you have a third question or not. How is a profit? Oh, that's a really good question. Okay. All right. You guys are good. All right. So, you guys all have a list of 3 questions. We are now going to the librarian's going to step in here in just a second, and she's going to give you some tips and ideas on how to find the answer to these questions. Because traditionally we know that you all just kind of, what do you guys do to answer these questions most of the time? You just type the question into Google. But sometimes that can be a little bit misleading. So she's going to tell you some tools and ideas that you can use that isn't just Googling a question, because it'll take you all over the place. Okay? And here she comes. Perfect timing. All right, you can actually stop it, Emily.